All right, last for this session, we welcome the owner of EntreFEST.com from Akron. Give him a big round of applause.
Good morning, and thank you for this opportunity. My name is Bill Brown with EntreFEST.com. Our new product, EntreFEST, is a complete tree care system, delivering and retaining up to 50% more water to young trees. EntreFEST are protect against hazards from both nature and against the man-made hazards. Both my sons worked in local orchards, placing mulch and plastic around young trees to prevent weeds and grass from starving the trees for needed moisture. What our study showed was up to 50% of that water gets caught in that mulch and plastic. We figured there had to be a better way. And so the EntreFEST was born. The EntreFEST are made in the U.S., Lincoln, Nebraska, with recycled plastic. You know, the concept is all you have to do is plant your tree according to the industry standards and assemble the pan around it. No tools are needed at all. Working the way in, you start out with the rodent edging. Fits about 3 inches into the ground. That prevents the rodents from digging in, holds the water, and keeps the integrity of the pan around in the ground so it doesn't blow away and all those issues. Moving in, there's a beveled edge on the outside for weeding and mowing around the pan, and also is headed designed for that 16-year-old in a zero-turn mower in the mountain. Stake holes are also provided in the doors who like to stake their trees, and the adjustable door system working away is probably the most important thing about the pan, and something nobody else has, is that adjustable slides in and out. So you can start out with a tree an inch in diameter and expands all the way up to a foot around. The dome design funnels all the water into the root system and it prevents that water runoff. Most important is once you get the water in there, it keeps the moisture in from evaporating out. How are we selling our pans? We have a multi approach to this. We're hitting social media. We're running with a wide draw video, with a 92-second wide draw video that we're tweeting and Facebook. And that is what it does is 92 seconds. It shows everything you want to know about the tree pan in a short burst. Our trade show is a big part of our marketing. We actually kicked off our travels in the National Hardware Show in Las Vegas last week. And we have 6 shows that are slated on our radar. It puts us in front of about 150,000 buyers in the next 12 months. We've had a great interest from our cities and municipalities who are green, thinking green, planting trees. But again, their staff doesn't like to mulch, they don't like to mow around them. That's one fix all. Finally, we do have, and we've also talked to the state of California with Governor Brown's office and his water board. They're having huge issues in California. They're down to some communities where they can water once or twice a week their shrubs and trees, and getting the water there is one thing, but keeping that moisture in is another big item. Finally, we have an international sourcing team in New York that's working on our trees. Our sales are international. There are 8 offices throughout Europe. We're going to kind of sneak into that market because we're not quite ready for that. But the United States really only shows 17% of all the fruit trees in the world is in the United States. Our use of funds, of course, everyone knows this. Tooling is expensive. If we're able to be successful in our bid here, we pour to help defray those costs. And this doesn't even include the $18,000 shipping costs from China back to the U.S. Our community impact and our business growth, we're from Akron, Iowa. The city has been very generous. There's a hospital that used to be a nursing home that we have closed. We have a rent-free for the first 12 months. We have patient utilities, but that's it. It may not seem like a lot, but in a community of 1,500 people, we have 7 to 10 full-time employees that are slated probably after the first of this next year. I do want to make a point there. So it's not just a product, this is a company that we're starting here. We have 3 additional products that are kind of add-on to the tree pans that are in development. But my wife says we have to finish one before we get started. So, our financial slide here, this is our net income slide. We're so focused on the first 6 months of launching here since we launched last week at the trade show. This shows from June to the end of this year our net revenue will be about $131,000. That's only about 5,556.7 pans sold, which is kind of realistic since our goal, corporate goal has always been to have 1,000 pans. Finally, our final slide here talks about our gross income projections rather. Years 15, 16, and 17 range from about 450 to about almost $1.2 million. Basically, at the end of the third year, what's going to happen is we'll have to make some decisions because we'll be up against that production goal of our manufacturing, and so we'll either have to go to a steel mold, double cavity, or buy a second mold to do that. Again, I'm Bill Brown, EntreFEST.com, and thank you so much for your time.